Sag Harbor? Sag Harbor was completely different. Yeah, all it was bar rooms and antique stores. They didn't have the stuff they have now.
Let's get drunk and buy antiques.
Now it's the jewel of the Hamptons. There's like the Napier house. That was just a total wreck. We always thought that that was haunted as kids. Now look at it. Beautiful place. It was all run down. But there used to be a lot of abandoned houses up and down the main street. Huh? Yeah, like Canco's bookstore there. You know where Canco's bookstore is?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went in there once as kids. Snooping around and looking around. And we go upstairs and we had it in our heads the place really was haunted, you know, daring each other to go here and go there in place. And I remember that when we went in there to, there was a house behind it. There's a house behind that store.
Yeah.
We went in there and we're going in there to snoop around and see what's in there and smoke cigarettes. And what do? We're wandering around the place and we're getting each other scared. There must have been 6 or 7 of us, and we're getting each other, you know, worked up about it's haunted and da 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 da, you know. And we turn around and it's starting to get dusk. So somebody did something or said they saw something. So as a group we ran out. And the pantry door was right next to the back door, so we all ran like hell. And we went right into the pantry. And we're all in there screaming like little babies. All trying to fight to get out the door to try to get out the back door. Then we went running into the woods. Which place was it that started off the fancy bars in town? Would be the Corner Bar. Corner Bar was the first one to get fixed up.
I guess. I don't know.
That was a place I think they called Louise's or something. They fixed it up. And then after that, I think the Sandbar got fixed up and became a classier place. And then Joe and Sal's left. Then the Black Buoy was sold and was made into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the very first time we went into the Black Buoy. I think it was me, Chris, Donnie. It was the 3 of us. And we turned around and we walked in and we were really hot shit because we could go in there now. So we were legal, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the whole bit, you know. So we're standing there drinking the beers. And so one of us, I don't know who it was, come up with the bright idea that maybe we should take these mugs as like a souvenir to remember that our first drink we had in the Black Buoy. So we turn around and we walk out, and like 3 monkeys were standing there. We got out the door with them, and like 3 monkeys were walking across the street staring at them. And then when we got in the middle of the street, we looked up and there's Mammy. He didn't have to say a word. He just stared at us and went like this. And we just turned around and went right back in, put him on a bar and left. Because God forbid he went home and told your old man. If you had no money, you'd go into the Black Buoy. And you'd sit there. And you didn't have to sit there long before a fight would break. Then they would be thrown out into the front. And they'd have to fight it out on the street, and the whole bar would go out there, and you had your pick of drinks on the bar, and you left. Oh, see, you don't want to watch the fight. Yeah.
That's true.
And the Sandbar wasn't much better.
No.
That wasn't much better. Remember you walked in the Sandbar? You walked into the Sandbar from the back parking lot, which was
I don't know, I never
behind the
went in
police
back parking lot.
department.
Yeah.
And the jailhouse was there. Remember the jailhouse that was there?
Yeah.
And you
Well,
walked
I
right
didn't
past it.
experience going in it, but I mean.
No, well, you
I
walked
remember
right
seeing
past it to go into the back door of the sandbar. And I remember one time we were walking by, and Chuba turns around, and we heard this voice. And we're walking, and he goes, "Hey, Dis! Hey, Dis!" And I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck's going on?" And "I'm in here," and he was in there, right? Picked up for fighting with his brother on the main street, and they threw him in there.
Yeah.
So he says, "Get me something to drink." I says, "How? How are we going to get it to you?" So we turn around, and I remember the one time when Billy Spink was in there. We turned around, and somebody went and got a beer in put beer in a 5-gallon bucket and gave him a garden hose, and he drank it.
Severely thirsty.
Desperate times? Desperate
No, but what
measures.
we did was, for Chibbo, we turned around and bought him cigarettes, and we bought him a couple 6-packs, and we turned around, and I went and got a crowbar, and we pulled the iron door that was in front of it open at the bottom, and he took a blanket and threw it up against it. We piled all the stuff little by little on the blanket. He would pull it towards him, then throw it back. And when Mammy opened it up the next day, there was Chibbo laying on the fucking bunk in there with beer bottles all around him and cigarette butts laying there asleep. Questioning the shit out of him. How the hell did you get that stuff in here? Who gave you that stuff? I don't think he found them that next morning. Because if I remember correctly, it was this guy Denny in town who had like a pickup truck that was a wrecker in the back, like an old wrecker. Remember that? And then he took the door, and he had a welder. He worked with metal and stuff. He had a welder on the back, and he cut the hinges off the jailhouse door, and then he turned around and ripped it off. And then the door on the inside, he did the same thing, and he pulled it off with the wrecker, and Chibba got in, and they were riding around town with the door swinging on the back. I remember the time we were sitting in the beer barn, and we hear this humming, and that's when the drive-in bank wasn't right next to the beer barn, so they used it as a parking lot.
Right.
We hear this humming, and it's getting louder. You remember when Cappy had his moped?
Yeah.
And it's getting louder, and we're sitting there. It was a Saturday afternoon, you know, and it was the end of the day, and we're all bullshitting about what we're going to do and not do and all this kind of nonsense. And it's getting louder, and it's getting louder, and it's getting to the point where it's like screaming. You don't know what the hell it is. So we look outside the back door of the beer barn. Here comes Cappy. The throttle got stuck, and he hit the side of the building. Falls off the bike, and the bike is spinning on the ground. So we go over there and pick him up, and we bring him to the bar, and he sits down, and we buy him a drink, and he goes like this. He just takes the drink and goes, "Ah, mother's milk."
He was never a mean man.
Oh, he was a nice
He
guy.
was just,
He was always a nice guy. Always tell us stories
yeah.
about him ice skating down Main Street.
Which I'm sure he could have done. Yeah.
Story about him when he was a kid, he went to this brewery. He said he claimed that an uncle of his owned a brewery or something, and him and his cousin or whatever used to go hang around there, and there was a train that went through there, and the guy would stop and let them ride on the train and blow the whistle and all this nonsense. And he claimed this one time that him and his cousin, it was his cousin, not his brother, he turned around and said that they decided to swim through the vat of beer. Now, I don't know how a beer vat looks or anything, but he claimed they swam in it, and they got drunk as hell by the time they got to the other side. So, I don't know if that's factual or not, but that was one of his stories that he would tell. Probably just made it up at the spur of the moment.
Well, Story could get him a drink.
Well, yeah. Yep.
Preferred for roasts.
Good pool player. He could play pool. And he'd let you win a couple times to sucker you in, too. But you played pool with him once, you didn't do it again. Unless you wanted to lose, you know.